the Georgia Living Podcast. I'm Céline Evans.
And I'm Chris Evans.
Welcome. So, this week, we've been doing a lot of stuff at home.
We have. Well, I mean, now that the kids are back in school, like we had a week where we could get stuff done, and it felt really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. So, the first project that you finished was your go-kart. That
Finished
has been,
a project, yeah.
I'm sorry, how long has it been hanging around?
It's a year, almost a 2-year project.
2 years. So, we got it from
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. And then he drove it.
James drove
once?
it like 2 or 3 times. And then on the third time, there was this big grinding. And then it just started shooting smoke out of the motor. So I'm like, oh, great. Ended up ordering a replacement motor. Dillied around with that project for far too long before I realized that I got the wrong motor. Sold that on Facebook. Taught myself how to weld. And then after teaching myself how to weld, it was a really easy project. Went out and bought a Predator engine. Bought the torque converter after I fried the couple of clutches. And we got it up and running. And there's some more stuff. I mean, the project's not done. We're going to probably do some more upgrades to it.
You had to actually get another hobby in order to finish this, which was
welding. Yeah.
So
skill. It's not a hobby, but skill.
I don't think a lot of people weld.
No.
Yeah, it seems scary.
Well, unless you go hang out at Harbor Freight, and then it seems like everybody welds. I guess it's just, who you hang out with.
I guess so. So this go-kart is for a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And their height.
The little... They make them out of China. It's like sometimes Coleman brands them. This one was like a Cyclone 110 when we got it. So now it's got a Predator 212 in there. So we've doubled the size of the engine. It's just like 6.5 horsepower. We put the exhaust on it. I've got a racing carburetor we're going to install on it eventually. But
I know nothing about go-karting. What can you do with it? Because I know that you were talking to somebody at church about go-karting.
Yeah.
And they said that they raced.
So different type of go-kart.
Oh, okay.
They make racing frames. And you can put an engine on a racing frame and actually go to like Road Atlanta. They have karting leagues.
What's Road Atlanta?
It's like a racetrack.
Really? That you can get on with your go-kart?
They have karting leagues.
Wait, where is this?
Road Atlanta? I think that's up in Gwinnett.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff.
Or maybe Dawsonville, but it's up, I think, 400
Those
somewhere.
are very different.
Where is Road Atlanta?
That is such a fun thing. Before we got into these groups and hobbies, like cycling, right? For James's
Brazelton.
It's in Brazelton.
Yeah.
So, I
85.
didn't know that there are so many mountain biking trails before he got on the mountain biking team.
Right?
Now, this what is this? Brazelton, Georgia. Now, the only thing I know in Brazelton is Chateau Elan, the winery.
So with karting leagues, think F1, but much smaller. So
you get to go to Dubai?
No, they have leagues that do travel around the U.S. though.
Okay.
And depending upon the league, there's international karting. These carts can go like 70, 80, 90 miles an hour.
That's
terrifying. They're wearing full race suits. They're in full race helmets. I mean, there's different leagues, right? Based off of age. Like you have like speed restricted leagues, I think. But there's some folks get into karting when they're in their 40s. They just like, I want to go fast. I'm going to go buy a go-kart and I'm going to join a league and start doing stuff like that. And they can. You get to work on the engine yourself. They're very easy to work on. You can do some really incredible upgrades. Your frame is going to be, for racing, you're going to want a lightweight frame. So, I mean, all of these things come into play. But what we did was just a backyard build. He loves it. It's a lot of fun. It's got these big chunky tires on it, so he'll be able to rip around off-road and just kind of use it in the backyard and rip around the streets. Now, in this conversion to this motor, we ripped out all the electrical. So it doesn't have an alternator or starter. It's a pull start now. It doesn't have reverse gears. It doesn't have lights or turning signals. Like, those are things that we'll eventually add to it if he really stays involved with it. Like, we can add a reverse gear, but every time you're doing that, you're like building onto the engine.
it still floors me that people go 70, 80 miles per hour in this.
Oh, this engine in a mini bike, somebody got it up to about 65, 70 miles an hour. Now, it's limited by weight. His will never go that fast. His might go like 35, 38 miles an hour because that frame is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the it's not an ultralight go-kart, but if I put this motor on an ultralight go-kart, it'll probably go 45, 48 miles an hour.
Wow. I mean, he barely weighs anything.
Yeah,
so.
he weighs nothing, so it's
yeah.
zoom. But it still has the governor on it, so I can make this motor go a lot faster.
Well, my problem is that, when I'm going 70, 80 miles per hour, that's on the highway, and that scares me.
Well, that would be, governor restricted. It would have upgraded flywheel. You'd have, upgraded pistons. You have to do work to get it to go that fast, but you can.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. It's good to be done with a project. He's really proud of it.
Well, it's a struggle for you because of your ADHD.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's just been sitting there, and I know you've been looking at it.
I've been looking at it, but so out of the year and a half that I was working on this project, really a year of that was me thinking to myself, damn it, I need to learn how to weld so I can do this. It took you
that long to think about it?
It was, there were other things. Like we're going through the changing in the market. We're busy with work to spend money on like learning a new hobby. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the resources. Like we were putting everything into the company. And we got to a point where kind of have gone through this shift in the market where we're in a good place. We had time and I had a need for it because it was either I learn how to weld or I had to pay somebody basically the cost of all the welding equipment to fix my bumper. So, and that was on the Land Cruiser. So I learned how to weld, and then now a couple of months later, the go-kart is done. Funny how that works.
Even more accomplishments that we've done.
Yeah.
We collected 47.5 pounds of pop tabs for the Ronald McDonald House charities.
That's a lot of soda can tabs.
That is so much.
That's a
lot. No, we did not drink this because we're not really a soda family.
No.
I know that pop tabs are on other drinks as well. But this is a collection from about a year and a half worth from 4 different societies. And it ended up just basically living, and it's like a breathing creature, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And there aren't that many drop-off points for this pop
you gotta
tab.
go children's.
So, yeah, we've got to go to children's. So we've been trying to figure out a day to go there and give them all these pop tabs. And I don't know what they think whenever they get all these pop tabs, because either they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are unhealthy, or what do we do with them now? I have no idea what happens after we hand it off to them. But anyways, it's a very easy and tangible way for families to give back. If you have a pop tab, just rip it off. Very easy. Put it in your pocket. Don't let it go through the washer, and stick it in a cheesy poof container that we were given.
Yeah. And then, we've added a couple of those giant plastic like pretzel tubs to it because we surpassed the storage containers that we were given. And this is all going to Ronald McDonald House charities. If you're not familiar with their work, their mission is to create, find, and support programs that improve the health and well-being of children and their families. So when children are going through medical procedures, Ronald McDonald House Charities works to make sure they have all the resources needed. So they provide lodging, meals, emotional support near hospitals, and they reduce the financial and emotional burden of pediatric illness. So it goes to good, it's a great mission that they have.
And our kids have really gotten into it too, because I will forget about it whenever I'm out somewhere and say they get a drink, but it's not a fountain drink, it's in a can. They will, before they even finish the drink, they'll start taking it off and then putting it in their pockets. So I have found so many forgotten pop tabs inside pockets.
So many. So many. They're
clink around in the washer, but they have fun doing it. So.
Yeah. And huge thanks to all of our friends that were over for the holiday party. All your White Claw tabs and beer tabs went towards it. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Everything that we do, we always try and keep a focus on community and giving back. And, through all of our different organizations that we're a part of, it just feels good to be able to make a difference.
So, this year, it's the new year. It is an incredible year already.
It is.
2026. What does that mean to you?
It is the 250th anniversary of America being America.
I've been counting down this for 4 years. You know that?
You have.
I have literally been counting down because I was the corresponding secretary for the Fielding Lewis chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. And part of my job was to count down. But that was my role 4 years ago, and it ended last year because I moved on to national, and I'm still doing chapter stuff though. But it's been a long time, and it's finally here, and it feels like people are finally paying attention because I think I just paid attention too early, right? Like somebody that's really excited for Christmas.
Yeah.
I got really excited for this.
You were like singing Christmas carols in July, basically.
So, beginning in January of 2026, the Georgia Department of Revenue will offer a new America 250, and it's a big word.
It's out now.
Yes, it's out now. But America 250 is an alternate name because the correct name for this is called the semi-quincentennial. And sometimes
that's a little
just
slower. It's semi-quincentennial. There we go.
So America 250 is the catchphrase, I guess. And it's the Department of Revenue is offering a new America 250 standard license plate.
Yeah.
And it's available statewide through, get this, 2030.
Well, we're going to get ours next month because we got to renew the vehicles anyway.
Yes.
But this is really cool because it's available at any of your county tag offices. You can select it during a new registration or just during a normal renewal, which is up to 60 days before the expiration. And it's offered alongside the Peach Plate and the Peach Orchard Plate. It's designed to promote civic education and historical awareness. But we've got a little bit of a tie to the story behind this. So who designed this, honey?
So a CAR member, a Children of the American Revolution member of Georgia, designed this. She is Eden Pethel, and she is not in our society, but she's in a different one. She created this design, and it features red stars marking the Revolutionary War sites. They include Kettle Creek, Briar Creek, battles and sieges of Savannah, Fort Morris, and Frederica Naval Action.
So cool.
There is a lot.
Yeah.
And these are still very significant battles that are commemorated to this day. I know that Kettle Creek, Briar Creek, Fort Morris, we do the salutes with the flintlock guns, and a lot of SAR members, Sons of the American Revolution, they come out and they're wearing full regalia. Mm-hmm. And even the CAR kids, some of them wear that too. So they are definitely part of Georgia history. Now, funny thing is that most of the stars are on the eastern side of the state. Mm-hmm. Kind of, if you look like Georgia is like a little pot-belly man. It's on his belly.
It's all along the coastline.
Yeah. Because really, it was Indian territory before that. So that was kind of the border of Georgia.
There was a big difference in Georgia between the Revolutionary War and the Civil War.
Yes.
Civil War was more inland. That's where you have Kennesaw and Atlanta and the burning and all that.
Yeah, but remember, people weren't inside Georgia during the Revolution, not as much.
Where was the capital?
They were, but the bigger places were not so far in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They were more out. Americus?
Was it Americus?
Well, Georgia has had a few capitals.
Yeah. Which one was it during Revolution?
Milledgeville?
That was Savannah.
Oh, yeah, Savannah.
During the Revolutionary War, Georgia's capital shifted due to the conflict, moving from Savannah, the initial seat of government, to Augusta. So right around this time, we're fighting for independence. the capital of Georgia moves from Savannah to Augusta.
Makes
the
sense.
birthplace and the childhood home of George Walton, who was our Declaration of Independence signer from the state of Georgia, the last one of the most prominent signatures on the Declaration of Independence. And James was the committee chair responsible for talking about Meadow Garden, which was George Walton's home in Augusta. So very interesting history. And if you get a chance to travel and kind of check out some of these areas, like, go to historic sites. They're awesome. There's so much cool history there.
Yeah, it really is humbling, though, because his house is not a mansion.
No, it's tiny. I mean, they were all small.
Well, it's tiny for the number of children he had.
Well, yeah.
For sure, because I have experience with that, right? 3 children, they're getting bigger every day, and you're like, wow, there goes my office.
I don't know how we do 3 in 2,700 square feet when they did like 13 in 900 square feet.
They were magical.
No one was ever inside back then.
Probably not, because it was dark, right?
Yeah,
and you
unless
had
it's
to
raining.
light something. I mean, it's like living in a cave all the time. I don't know. I don't think I could last a week.
If I had 900 square feet with my kids, they wouldn't be inside. Period. Get out.
So, Georgia's America 250 efforts are coordinated through the Georgia US 250 Commission. It is encouraging local governments, historical groups, museums, and civic organizations to host events through 2025-2026. They can include lectures, reenactments, exhibits, concerts, and educational programs. Communities submit events to the official Georgia US 250 calendar, and listings will continue to grow. Now, this information is from the Department of Economic Development, so you can check out that list right now. And so what about Marietta and how we are celebrating America 250? Well, I can tell you that in celebration of this, there are the standards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the 4th of July parade.
4th in the Park, Marietta, on
Yes.
July 4th. And that's going to align with the 250th. We do that every year.
Every year.
So just expect this to be hopefully bigger than in years past, with a lot of probably events leading up to it. So with the Georgia Economic Commission, they're encouraging cities all across the state of Georgia to do events like this. So there's probably going to be a lot more events announced as we get closer to it. Mm-hmm. But the Marietta City has information about the 4th of July on their website. But there aren't any officially branded America 250 events announced yet. But they're going to line up perfectly.
So there's the branding of 250,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also, independent groups that celebrate the 250th too without the branding. So you don't necessarily have to have this. Now, the one thing that I think is really cool about America 250 is that they had a float in the Rose Bowl. And I don't know if you remember this, but it was 3 giant eagles kind of like in a waterfall from one very top, and then the middle's lower, and then the front is lower than that. And fireworks would fly off of it, and then there's a screaming eagle that would scream, and then it just, America. So that was America 250. I thought it was very, very timely being on the 1st of January to usher in 2026. And I am surely going to be very busy this year.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes.
So along the lines of Georgia 250, because Georgia 250 is kind of along with America 250, the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation is also doing a year-long celebration of America's 250th anniversary in Georgia. So they have the 13th Colony Society. So if you're interested in taking part and being a part of it, they have resources to join the 13th Colony Society. They also have lots of different programs, from Georgia 250 to advocacy to working through places in peril. The Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation saves our history throughout the state. So you can learn more about that at georgiatrust.org. Mm-hmm. The Explore Georgia talks about the Georgia US 250. So they're, along with the Georgia Historical Society, Georgia Humanities Council, and the Georgia Department of Economic Development, all Georgia communities are called to join in celebrating. So all of these different organizations throughout the state are working to bring celebrations to our local communities throughout the whole year. So keep an eye out, and as we learn about more opportunities, we're going to share that with you.
So I've got to say, I like browsing through antiques online.
Yeah.
Or, old paraphernalia from past celebrations. One thing that I find a lot of is the bicentennial celebration that was in the 70s. So, yes, anything that is produced, you're probably going to see it in 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
On maybe Facebook Marketplace if it's still around.
Collectibles.
Yes.
This is your time to get the tchotchkes to pass down to the kids. I mean, it's stuff like, we've got a license plate from the 96 Olympics that is still hanging around our house. And so we're getting the 250 license plate because, that way it's always hanging around the house. And we'll have
I remember the Olympics here, and I remember walking around in Centennial Park. So
2 years before I moved here.
It's nostalgia for me, right?
Yep.
But speaking of celebrations, we are also making a little side trip to Savannah, Georgia. And it's got a huge Irish presence there.
Oh, yeah. So it's been a while since we've done a day trip destination. So today we're going to be talking about all things Savannah.
Well, not day trip, but, weekend trip.
Weekend trip, yeah.
It's a little harsh to do a day trip here from the metro.
But weekend trip you can definitely do. And Savannah is one of our favorite spots.
Yes. It is the most gorgeous city. I mean, it was spared from destruction because it was so pretty, and I'm so glad because it's my favorite city. And before I married you, I had no Irish in me. Well, maybe a little bit, but mostly Scottish and German and I don't know what else. Obviously English. But maybe like two people were from Ireland, but that was my 10th great-grandfather. Very, very removed. Not like you and your redheadedness. How do you say this? Redheadedness.
Well, I guess I am an Irish citizen. I have dual citizenship with the U.S. and Ireland through the Foreign Birth Registry. So I was born in Boston, which that's not an Irish city at all. And, Mom's mom was born in County Cork. Mom's dad was born in Massachusetts, but his dad was born in County Mayo, I think. It was a couple of counties over, both from south side of Ireland. And I think his mom was also born in Ireland. So that whole side of the family is 100% Irish.
Except when it comes to celebrations, though, you would think that Massachusetts would be the top, right?
It's not.
No, actually, it's New York City. Mm-hmm. Makes sense because of the population there.
It was started there, too. The big American push to celebrate the Irish holiday
Ellis Island
was in New York. So New York is a big one. Boston has a big parade. They have a big Irish population. Chicago also has another one.
I'm sure they do. I mean, they make the river green, but Savannah hosts the largest St. Patrick's Day parade or celebration.
Second only to New York. So it is the second largest St. Patrick's Day celebration in the entire United States.
And it is so well known, and it's huge. It's hundreds of thousands of visitors from all around the world. Multi-day
celebration.
And like I said, Savannah has a very, very strong Irish heritage. And this is it goes back to Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind, where Scarlett O'Hara, an Irish name, her family came from Savannah, her mother's side. So there you go, right? Her mother was from Savannah, and I do believe that her father also lived in Savannah but was of Irish descent. So her character was a little fiery as well.
Oh, yeah. So the Savannah is hands down one of my favorite places to be. We're this year we're actually going to get to go down there for the St. Patrick's Day event. We'll be hanging out with the local DAR chapter there, and maybe you'll see us in the parade.
Yeah. Don't throw tomatoes at us, please.
No, please don't. But there's going to be lots of things happening, and there's always live music, great restaurants, just the vibe. Hundreds of thousands of people are coming. It is I don't know if they're still doing it. We'll have to double check, but it used to be an open container, so you can kind of walk around with the beer in hand. Don't drink from a green serving pitcher. The police don't like that. I did that in college and got yelled at because it was 64 ounces, and it was a 16-ounce limit. So you can't put a 16-ounce beer in a bigger container. They don't like that. Don't make the cops mad. It's not a good time to be doing that. But there are some things that we've done lots of trips to Savannah. So we have some favorites and some favorite places that we like to go.
Yes.
All right. So
things to do there, though. There's so much to do.
All right. So what are your favorite things to do in Savannah?
It isn't an actual thing. It's something that I like about the city.
Okay.
Well, I guess I can make it a thing, though. But Savannah is a planned city. Mm-hmm. So it's very organized. It's got squares. And they haven't gotten rid of the squares either because it was supposed to be like that. So it's a grid pattern and then dotting very spaced out. It's square, 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 square. Mm-hmm. And one of the famous squares is the Forrest Gump where he's sitting on the bench talking about his box of chocolates. That's Chippewa Square. That's one of them. So if anyone's ever seen that movie, you understand that it literally is a square and it's beautiful. But each one of them, I feel like, has a personality. Yeah. So, and you never know who's buried there either, like Casimir Pulaski. But I like walking around on all of around all of this because they're cobblestone streets, and then you walk down there and then it changes again, but all this plannedness, it's such a great walking neighborhood. It makes it visually appealing to me. So I really like walking around and doing that stuff. Forsyth Park is another really, really big one. That's not a square though.
No. But it is. It's 30 acres, and it has. When you think of Savannah, you think of maybe Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. You've got the big fountain in the park. That is Forsyth Park,
and it's so populated that there are a lot of townhomes too. So especially near the squares. So you've got these multi-million-dollar mansions that are squashed up and sharing a wall.
100-year-old properties right up against the edge of the park. Fun fact, during St. Patrick's Day, they dye the fountains green. So they're not going to dye the Savannah River. It flows too fast. It's just going to go. But they do dye the fountains.
Well, Forsyth Park has a fountain.
Yep.
And it is definitely a Central Park. It's kind of like Central Park in New York. And did you know that fountain was a mail order fountain?
I did not know
from
that.
A catalog.
What? Yes. Sears?
No, I don't think Sears, but it was a catalog. I have no idea who sold it, but that is not the only copy of that fountain in the world. So if you think that it was made just for Forsyth Park, no, it was not. It is not an original one, but it is beautiful. A lot of people have weddings there. A lot of people take photos there and family mementos because you've got the Spanish moss, you've got the tree boughs that are going over and making a tunnel, and it's just so picturesque, and the fountain is beautiful too.
Savannah's iconic Forsyth Fountain wasn't purchased from a single store, but was inspired by French designs. J.P. Iron Foundry was the inspiration for it, and ordered from the Janes Beebe & Co. catalog as model number 5, with installation beginning in 1858 and completion in 1858, making it a custom-ordered manufactured piece of public art for the city, according to the City of Savannah's website.
All right, so see, it was from a catalog, number 5.
Yep, and the design was based on a model from the J.P. Iron Foundry near Paris, France. So, based on a French fountain.
I mean, there's, the Tokyo Tower, which is the replica of the Eiffel Tower, just in red and white. So
Eiffel Tower, which is a replica of the Eiffel Tower in Vegas. So, I mean, you can do it everywhere. Why not? Let's put Lady Liberty in Vegas. Call it the second one. That's perfect.
You mentioned some of these historic homes, and
yes.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God, they have such cultural significance because they have so many stories reaching back to, centuries, and even cultural significance in pop culture because, like you mentioned, the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Yeah. It was Kevin Spacey before he was, Kevin Spacey out of Hollywood.
Kevin Spacey, I do believe that the house that they filmed it in is still there.
It is.
And
they had Uga in the movie, Uga, UGA's mascot.
Yes.
Long time ago.
If you take a look at some of these listings in Savannah, though, and look at the inside of it, they're so unique and so different because they were built in a time where technology was different. The needs of the people were different, gas lighting, candlelight lighting. You don't know. They had different habits as well. So we don't have as much of that in Georgia compared to Massachusetts with the central chimney or everything like that with the heating. But we still can find speckled around the state a few of these properties. And I just think it's so fascinating to look at these listings in the interior.
The great thing about Savannah is that it's one of the oldest places in Georgia, so you actually get some actual history. I think it starts around the end of the second period in America and then goes into kind of period 3, which is like right around 1750s is the end of period 2. So most of the state of Georgia, you're not going to find any period 2. You go up to Massachusetts, you got period 1 homes, you got period 2 homes. Like we found a historic property that was owned by your property from the 1600s.
My property.
Or your family.
Oh, yes.
The Higgins side. So,
yes. My maiden name is Higgins, and we come from Eastham, Massachusetts, before coming from England. And Mr. Richard Higgins landed on the Cape and founded Eastham. So, yes, there are some descendants and my cousins, I guess, who owned a few of those houses.
Yeah, so you get to actually, if you take one of the tours, you can explore some of those period 2 and period 3 homes because you're walking along it, and they're built in like the 1750s to the 1800s. And when you go in there, it's just really cool to see how we used to live as a society.
Yes.
And learn about some of the early tax evasion because back then they didn't have air conditioning. So
right.
the wealthy people had like lots of doors in their homes.
They had to. It's Savannah and no air conditioning. Are you kidding me?
But then the government started taxing you based off of how many doors you had in your home.
The government did not live in Savannah and experience the heat.
Well, they were there and they knew that the wealthier people had more doors, so they would tax the home based off of doors. This is very early property taxes, right? Now it's based off of comps and what others have sold for. Early days, you were taxed based off of how many doors. So what did the wealthy Savannah folks decide to do? They designed and installed these windows that were pure floor to ceiling. So they opened up, you could walk straight through them. There was no ledger board at the bottom, and they acted as doors, but you were not taxed on it because it was a window. So early forms of tax evasion, fun stuff. That's like one of that has lived rent free with me for like 15 years. Probably longer than that. Well,
other than finding tax loopholes on.
The quality of workmanship in these homes is so
sure,
cool.
But on these tours, usually they're not how to evade tax back in 1700.
They're ghost tours.
It is usually a ghost tour.
Architecture, architecture
no, but they're
tours.
More ghost tours because I think
it's a haunted place.
Yes, it's so old that people really like these ghost tours.
Yeah.
And a lot of these homes as well come with ghost stories. So they're all different, all unique, and you'll just have to take a tour I have no recommendations, but take a tour and listen to some of these stories. They're pretty crazy.
Another fun thing to do is the Savannah River, they have lots of cruises. Like you can go out on an evening cruise, sunset cruise. They've got dinner boats where you can go and have dinner and a show over the sunset on the river. Like just top-notch stuff. So there's always things to do. And if you're anything like me, you can charter a fishing boat right out of Savannah. They've got onshore and offshore. You could be in the intercoastal. You can go out into the ocean, and just go down there, have a great time. So I'm excited to go because we're going to be down there in March.
Yes.
And it's been a while since we've been to Savannah. All right. So there are some famous restaurants down there as well.
Yes. Famous as in
like
for what though?
They're very unique. They're local to Savannah. And people like these are attractions. So the top, I asked ChatGPT, I said, all right, what are the top 5 restaurants in Savannah? And I've been to one of these.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mrs. Wilkes.
Oh, so, all right. The top restaurants in Savannah are, and I'll just list them off because I've been to 3 of these actually. The Pirate's House, Vic's on the River, Mrs. Wilkes Dining Room, the Collins Quarter, and Old Pink House. Now, the Pirate's House, which is at the top of the list, I think is a tourist attraction.
It definitely is.
But it comes with a really cool hole in the floor. And that's understating it. So the story is that it's the Pirate's House because there is a tunnel that leads to the shore from this restaurant. And you can go into the restaurant, have your meal, and then wander over to, and you're not allowed to go down there either, but you can stare at this staircase or, descent into this hole that supposedly leads to the shore.
So here's the history of the Pirate's House.
Okay.
All right. It's one of the most historic spots in Georgia. It's here that the Trustees Garden, the first public agricultural experimental garden in America, was located. This is 1753, so just at the end of period to America. When Georgia had become firmly established and the need for the experimental garden no longer existed, the site was developed as a residential section since Savannah had become a thriving seaport town. One of the first buildings constructed on the former garden site was naturally an inn for visiting sailors. Situated a scant block from the Savannah River, the inn became a rendezvous for pirates and visiting sailors from the 7 seas. The building remained intact through the centuries, but lost its spark and had fallen into disuse after World War II. The property was acquired by the Savannah Gas Company in 1945, and the dilapidated building was slated for demolition, but was saved by Miss Mary Hillier, wife of the president of the company, Mr. Hansel Hillier, president of the company, Mr. Hansel Hillier. Mary, along with some other local ladies, took it upon themselves to restore General Oglethorpe's vision of Savannah. This meant that our beloved Pirate's House received its first restoration treatment under the magic wand of Miss Hillier. With great imagination, perseverance, and skill, she was able to save the building and renovate it to the restaurant it is today. So, very cool.
Experimental garden. That's the first I've ever heard of that.
So, the Trustees Garden to the Herb House, to the Inn and Tavern, to Treasure Island, to being renovated in the 1940s and 50s. So very cool.
Well, anyways, just one little building can have this much history.
Yeah.
In Savannah. I've never been on to Vic's on the River, but Mrs. Wilkes Dining Room. We have a funny story about this one. We went to a get-together during St. Patrick's Day many years ago, and I really wanted to go to Mrs. Wilkes' Dining Room because I love Southern cuisine if it's done right, and it's very difficult to do right as well because even though it's simple, it's a technique, right? So at the get-together, I was saying, hey, where's Mrs. Wilkes? I'm getting really hungry. I think I want to go there for dinner.
Right underneath us.
We were standing on top of Mrs. Wilkes' Dining Room.
Yeah.
It's one of those side streets, and then the bottom had become a commercial unit.
These were two brownstones next to each other, and then you had steps up from the street to get into the residence.
Yes, so
and
residence above the commercial.
Mrs. Wilkes was downstairs in the basement.
I had no idea. I was standing on top of her.
Yeah, we were just networking and drinking and having a fine and dandy time with some friends.
Well, she did pass away though, so she is no longer there. But the restaurant still is there. They are not open on St. Patrick's Day though, because can you imagine the mayhem? And these are local people, so what do you think they're doing out at the parade?
They're out enjoying it too. Yeah. So Mrs. Wilkes' house was opened in 1943 by Sema Wilkes. She took over a boarding house in downtown Savannah. Her goal was to make a living by offering comfortable lodging and home-style Southern cooking. She picked up where the previous proprietor left off, and the restaurant is still open today.
I love it. I really do love it.
Oh, yeah. The menu. This is the menu. Fried chicken, sausage, beef stew, meatloaf. And then veggies, cabbage, snap peas, mac and cheese, butter beans, black-eyed peas, rutabaga squash, rice and gravy, mashed potatoes, candied yams. Just veggies. They keep going on. Baked beans, coleslaw, macaroni salad.
And I believe it's served family style, too.
It is. And there's a store there where they sell her cookbook and lots of stuff, but you can visit. There's lodging. So you can stay at the property, which I guess they were just having a party upstairs when we were there because we were in the Mrs. Wilkes property. They're probably just renting it out.
I don't know.
It's fun. I'm learning this now.
Well, so there's also the Collins Quarter and then the Old Pink House. Now that I think about it, I have not eaten at the Old Pink House. I've just seen the Old Pink House because it's so iconic and it's so pink. You can't miss this house.
No.
It's very different from the other ones around there.
It's very old.
And I do believe the Old Pink House has some quirks of its own, too. I think.
Well, they have signature spirits on the website, but I don't think it's that kind. I don't think it's a haunted spirit there.
No. Well, if it comes to me, I'll think about it. Anyways, so there are also attractions other than eating.
Yes.
Some of these we talked about already. There's River Street Waterfront. So this is where the cobblestone streets are, and they're super old.
Oh, yeah.
So River Street.
If you have any mobility issues, you want to just do a little research before you go.
Yeah, you might need like giant tires for this one. It is not wheelchair friendly. And so I think there are sidewalks there, but there's accessibility
with the city, but just do some research before you go because there's lots of steep stairs to get up and down from River Street to like the inside.
So this street really is where all the tchotchkes are, the souvenirs, the airbrush stuff, the candy kitchen, the
Savannah Bee Company.
Yeah, so you've got all that stuff, the tourist stuff that if you want to take home a gift, sure, let's go here.
If you know River Street Sweets, because you see them everywhere, the airport, and this is where they started. Savannah Bee Company is right there on River Street. There's lots of gift shops, lots of restaurants.
I'd say it's a day trip though, especially if on the off season you can move around a lot easier.
River Street, you could spend an entire day on just River Street.
You could.
Yeah.
You could. It depends on who you're with. If you have kids, you probably just don't want to be there because they want to buy everything. Yeah. We talked about Forsyth Park and the fountain, catalog number 5. And, take some photos there. They're really pretty. They're also the historic home tours. Now, one house that we did not talk about that is very famous is the Juliet Gordon Low birthplace. Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
That's because you were in scouting. I was a Girl Scout, you were a Boy Scout. And the founder of Girl Scouts was Juliet Gordon Low, who was married to the founder of the Boy Scouts.
No kidding.
Yeah, so they were a husband and wife team. Her home birthplace is in Savannah, and you can take tours there. You'll see a lot of Girl Scouts taking tours just to, see how it was back then in her time. I remember putting on a period dress and sewing there. I remember going out to the garden after that, and even going to the terrifying, at that time, because I was 10 basement, which I'm sure was used for legitimate purposes, but when you see a hook hanging from the ceiling, you're just like freaking out because you're 10 years old, right?
Wasn't it Savannah that you had a ghost story where the light kept turning on?
Charleston.
That was Charleston. Never mind.
Charleston.
We'll have to do an episode on Charleston. we'll cover that later. But yeah, along with like the Juliette Gordon Low, the Birthplace Museum, there's a ton of stuff here. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, so many historic photos from there too.
You've got history of Juliette Gordon Low. You've got early scouting. You've got the house itself, because it's a historic home, and it was built in 1821. So period, I guess it's fourth period America, which starts in 1800. And it's a federal style home. Goes through all the timeline of the renovation and the preservation of it. And they've got a lot of stuff here. So there's event rentals. They do weddings there. There's travel planners. So there's both guided and self-guided tours. So they do programs for both scouting and schools. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
There's also the Savannah Riverboat Cruises. I have been on one before, and it's a lot of fun. It's not choppy water, so you just go on it, and it's kind of like this vibrating feel because of the motor. And live music, dancing. I did not drink on this because I was 10 or something like that, but we danced a lot.
That's an acceptable excuse.
There's also City Market. Now I'm going to let you talk about City Market because there's quite a bit to that as well, starting with where it's located.
Yes. So where it's located, let me pull this up on the map. So the Savannah City Market. Here we go. Yeah, let's cut that out. The Savannah City Market. It's in the heart of downtown. All right, so it's vibrant. It's a historically significant hub of commerce. It's between Franklin and Ellis Squares, and it's 4 city blocks. It has merchants, market goers. It gives a place for travelers and tradesmen, as well as a great atmosphere. Fostered by pub proprietors and both restaurateurs. This tradition currently endures as both locals and visitors convene at the city market to choose from an array of restaurants, bars, shops, and studios. From the City Market Pavilion, one can embark on a trolley journey to the riverfront and explore other historic sites before returning to witness the creative endeavors of local artists, concoct a personalized cocktail, or savor the delectable taste of freshly baked sweet southern pralines. Mm-hmm. The sights, sounds, and aromas that permeate the market encapsulate the essence of cherished moments and create enduring memories. So let's talk about some things that are here. So we've got Wexford, which is Savannah's Irish pub. We've got the American Prohibition Museum, Bird Cookie Company. Oh, the Bird Cookie Company.
I love their cookies.
This is another Savannah staple. If you don't know of the Bird cookies, they are tiny. They're little itty bitty cookies.
They're like nickel-sized cookies.
And they are delicious.
And they're unstoppable, too. Like, once you have one,
mm-hmm.
Take it away. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. We've got Vinnie Van Gogho's Savannah Kitchen Company, Silver Silk and Beads, Sea Bags, Art Center North, Charleston Shoe Company, the Georgia Tasting Room. We've been there. That's mm-hmm. where one of our friends had their engagement.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. The A.T. Hun Gallery and Little Crown by Pie Society. There's also Twinkle, a signature gallery, Treehouse Savannah, Beef Jerky Experience. This sounds like a place we're going in March.
Do you Beef Jerky Experience. Make your own beef jerky?
I don't know. We're going to find out. There's
you can throw them at the wall and see if it sticks like axe throwing.
Yeah, fine art galleries, the Mess Hall, Art Center South, Savannah Visitor Center is here. More galleries. and more galleries. So lots of galleries.
Yes.
And this has been a hub since the 1700s. So it's very historically deep and rich, and just a cool place to hang out. It's got a good vibe.
I believe one of those is the pubs where they have one of these mugs with a face on it, and it turns. And we don't know why it turns to face certain ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's in the case and nobody takes it out of the case. No one opens the case, but it just turns.
That's weird. Well, there's also some historical sites that you're probably going to want to not miss when you're there.
Yeah, so the first is Cathedral Basilica of St. John the Baptist. This is a huge church. It's a Catholic
Landmark.
church, and it is a landmark because you can't miss it. You look out, and then the spires are just piercing the sky. If you get close, you're going to wonder what this giant building is, right?
Yeah.
And it is gorgeous inside, y'all.
So twin spires, intricate stained glass, lavish interior murals. It is the mother church of the Diocese of Savannah. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most photographed sites in all of Savannah. And in 2020, Pope Francis elevated it to minor basilica status because before that it was the Cathedral of Savannah, or the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. Now it's the Basilica. This is at 222 East Harris Street. They do have mass here. You can go and attend a mass there. So if you're traveling and you're just stopping by to take some photos, please be respectful. They have signs up, but definitely try and go in. It is gorgeous. Can you imagine? Like this was built in 1876. It was originally built in 1876, rebuilt in 1900 because there was a fire.
It seems older than 1876, doesn't it?
It does, but think back to then. Like no TV, no telephone. You've got the Pony Express is basically doing mail, and you go in and you see this stained glass.
You've got telegraphs.
You got telegraphs. Oh, yeah. So we had telegraphs back then,
Yeah.
but not the phone. We're still like 50 years before the
Beep,
phone.
beep, beep, beep.
So you go in and you see this light just pop through this stained glass. I mean, you can imagine the feeling that people got when they went there, and there was no other. You didn't have a screen showing you like lights all the time. Like this is the dopamine back then. You see it and you're like, oh, glass can do that? Wow. Chippewa Square, which you've mentioned,
Yes, Forrest Gump.
is another top historical site. And then we have the Bonaventure Cemetery.
Yes, and guess what? The giant arch says.
What? What's the arch? The
entrance to Bonaventure Cemetery is a giant arch installed by the Daughters of the American Revolution.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yes, and funny enough, you can actually still find plots. Resale.
Can you really?
Yes, you can.
So
You can.
the cemetery is over 100 acres. And it was established in 1846 on the site of the former Bonaventure Plantation, which was originally the estate of English colonist John Mulreen. The property passed to the Tatnall family before being sold to Peter Wiltberger, who opened it as Evergreen Cemetery in 1846. In 1907, the city of Savannah purchased it, renaming it Bonaventure. So very cool. The landscape and design there. It's a network of oak line avenues. I mean, the unique thing about Savannah is the live oak with the Spanish moss hanging from it. Like if you have never been to Savannah and you go down there, you've never seen a live oak tree. Like they are gorgeous.
Just look at it, though. Do not touch it.
Yeah,
Do not
no.
take it home.
Don't touch the Spanish moss. It is full of chiggers.
Yeah,
you
don't do it.
want
Don't do
it.
it.
Don't do it.
You're going to be very itchy for a very long time. So there's a reason why people aren't climbing up there and getting them and just leaving them be.
Yeah.
They don't want it either.
Don't do it. Don't try and wear the Spanish moss as a wig. Don't do that.
You would think that.
I would think that. Don't try and make a skirt out of it and dance around for Scythe Park.
Our kids would do that.
you will regret it because it is full of bugs. Juliette Gordon Low birthplace, which we've already covered, tops the top 5 historical sites. And then we also have Emmett Park.
So I am not as well versed in Emmett Park as I should be.
So it's east of City Hall on Bay Street. It forms part of the city's scenic promenade overlooking the river. Do you remember the giant Celtic cross?
Yes.
This was Emmett Park.
Oh.
So it's on Bay Street. It's about 4 acres, and it's named for the Irish patriot Robert Emmett. It features an Irish monument, a Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and shaded oak canopy.
I have been there.
Yes, we've been there. We just forgot the name of the park.
I see.
It was occupies land that was once formed part of the city's original bluff used as public commons in the 18th century. Its current form took shape in the early 1900s when Savannah beautified the waterfront approaches. The park was renamed for the Irish nationalist in 1902, reflecting the large Irish-American presence in the city.
So this is the first bluff, and it's close to Bay Street, you said?
Yes. So it's on Bay Street, and it features a giant Celtic cross monument, and there's a Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Used to be a gathering place. Very cool. So it's maintained by the city of Savannah, and it connects pedestrian pathways between the downtown historic district and the riverfront. So you go from downtown to the riverfront, and you're going to go through Emmett Park.
Oh. Well, if you have never been to Savannah, it is one of Georgia's best history meets fun destinations. So give it a try.
Yes.
It's definitely a weekend trip if you're coming from the Atlanta metro area. Maybe if you're from Middle Georgia, you can make it a day trip. I don't know how busy you want to be.
Here's what you want to do. If you're going to Savannah, you got to look up parking. When you're getting a rental, either an Airbnb or a hotel, not all of them have parking. So you're going to need to be close to, if it doesn't come with parking included, you're going to need to be close to a public deck. And when you get there, you want to park your car and not touch it until you're ready to leave the city. Just get around by trolley or Uber or walking, and you're going to be just fine. So when we're going down for the parade, we plan to get in a day or two beforehand. We're going to park, we're going to hang out at the Airbnb, and we're going to go and do our exploration from there, but no driving.
Excited.
I can't wait.
And America 250 is already taking shape statewide.
Yeah.
So we'll update you with more local events that are going to be coming up. And celebrate American history locally as well, just not nationally. We have all these things in Georgia, so get your creative hats on.
Yes. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Oh. Like, subscribe, follow us. If you know somebody who's interested in Savannah, go ahead and share this with them, and we'll have a full guide to everything we covered in the show on selectrealty.com. So feel free to check that out as part of our day trip destinations. This being more of a weekend trip, as my beautiful bride has mentioned, and we'll see you next.
Bye.
Take care.